Welcome, welcome to the listeners and to the people who are listening and watching this. My name is Anna. I'll be interviewing Elisabeth today, and I'm going to ask Elisabeth some questions about the profoundness of the work that she has been doing for so many years, decades. And I'm here of service. I feel that I've always been of service to help this get through in our ether. And I'm very grateful to have the questions prepared here and be here in the same room with you and to see what wants to emerge. Welcome, Elisabeth. Welcome.
Thank you, Anna, my sacred soul sister. And we are one heart, one mind, and offer ourselves in service for the highest good to unfold, whatever that may be. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to ask you some questions about your journey and where you come from, and a little introduction about who is Elisabeth and what are your experiences of, what are the experiences that shaped you and who you have become now. Would you mind sharing a little bit of?
Absolutely, thank you. And so a beautiful question to start with, because I was very aware of the moment in spirit when I made the contract to come. And so before I came into form, I chose to come into a very life-threateningly violent family. And in Hungary at a time when the Russians were just taking over and people were disappearing all the time, forever. And so I chose absolutely everything. I chose a non-stop traumatic first 3 or 4 years where it was a question mark around surviving, except not with spirit. They were determined I was going to survive. And so I chose the traumas as the perfect seeding and the perfect magnetic field for me to come onto the planet at this time in our evolution. And I spent the following 70 years of my life healing those traumas. And as a result of learning how to heal myself, I created this body of skills which I have then spent decades sharing around the world in 5-day healing seminars and continue to this day. So I provided the feeding ground for the rest of my life. And I'm still, within weeks of being 80, I'm still doing that. And every decade it evolves and changes and more wisdom comes alongside. And so it's this beautiful cocktail that is in constant creation. And it was all done from that choosing before I came, choosing each part. And so all my family, even though we were the most extravagantly passionate, dysfunctional family, we're all Elohim. And we all took our roles. And I chose to take the role of victim originally and discover as I got older that that's the easy one and have ever greater honor for all those who've taken the opposite, the perpetrator role. It's really to be honored for a Elohim archangel to take on that role and carry it out in perfection and terror. And so, yes, I chose it all and created it all and then lived it. And it is just as I aimed for, and that is I spent non-stop for decades healing the trauma so I could function in the world. And that has become ever more, it's become easier and easier and easier. And so I rejoice in that, and that's magical. And so I love the process, and I loved my purpose and my courage, and rejoice.
Almost turning 80. When are you turning 80, Elisabeth?
In June. I can't wait.
Any special celebrations?
Oh, yes. Already well planned. Yes.
What a life. What an experiences. Thank you for sharing.
Yes. I feel very wealthy, and it's got nothing to do with possessions, and it's got nothing to do with money. And I just feel very wealthy and grateful for every part of it. And I wouldn't want to do without 1 second of the trauma, because each moment I have become more as a result. And so that's who I am now. And I thank all those people, especially those who played the perpetrator role, because they were my best friends in the Buddhist sense. And I honor and thank them that I have become what I've become thanks to them as my greatest teachers.
It sounds like a beautiful life lesson for many, many people to take on board. That sometimes perpetrators are the ones who are giving us the biggest lessons without us knowing how much of a gift it actually is.
Yes. And I was blessed in the fact that I remembered those contracts before I came in. But most people are living those contracts that they're unaware of, and that they chose their families, and that their families also created those roles. I'll play the perpetrator, and I'll do this and this and this, so you can become that and that and that. And so opening the eyes, because when I realized that we are all Elohim, it was like, wow. And you honored me by taking the, life-threateningly violent role. I'm speechless with admiration, honor, and respect. I don't know if I would have had the courage to do that. It's much easier playing the victim.
What a lessons, what a deep, deep, profound lessons. And I think viewers will be recognizing if they have these patterns and roles and contracts in their lives and how that looks like, or looked like maybe his lifetime, maybe even his lifetimes, if they can remember.
I have manifested with the same family time after time after time all over the planet, as well as galactic beings. And we have come together and danced different dances. And just like William Shakespeare, You know, we created the script before we came, and then we each took our roles, and it's all illusion. Only the becoming is real. And nobody can take that away from me, because that becomes the essence of who I am, which then travels on to the next phase of my evolution. So that's my priceless, infinite gift. It's all we can take. Mm.
It feels very profound to take that on board, as for all of us to know that we bring our essence with us. How would you describe that for our viewers?
Mm.
What will be like a gift that you can gift them, to describe that? Or you beautifully described it, but what will be a lesson for them in this to be transmitted for them? Anything that you want to share?
It's around really accepting and knowing that we're far more than this vehicle, which comes with birth and leaves with death. However, our essence remains. That passes over and continues its evolutionary journey. And who I've become as a result of birthing into this vehicle on deathing goes with me as my wealth. And anything that I haven't completed continues with me as unfinished business, which I then have to finish in another lifetime. And my aim in this lifetime is to have no unfinished business and to leave whole and complete and arise. And I don't have to die. Just simply arise. And this vehicle just goes way back into dust, as the Catholic Church says.
Ashes to ashes.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
Becomes part of Mother Earth as her fertilizer. So that feels really nice. Mm.
And to go on to another track, but I think it's very related to what you just shared. It's a question about obstacles.
Mm.
So you already shared about your obstacles you've experienced at young age, when you were a young girl, and with the Russians coming in and the fear and the traumas that you've already experienced. And then you stepped into another place, or you shaped yourself into another form almost. What has become of you, Elisabeth, from that? And what is it that you want to offer the people listening, or to our viewers? What is it that you can offer others to help them remember what it means to be whole or become whole?
Mm.
Something like that.
Yes. Well, for me, I'm eternally grateful to my ex-husband, who is my best friend in the Buddhist sense and has been so through our lives. And so he's been one of my greatest teachers and has provided me with some the next biggest obstacles to surviving the Russians and hiding and escaping successfully and arriving in New Zealand. And it was around when I was married, and I'm putting no blame and taking full responsibility, I allowed myself to become a doormat in the marriage. And I was stopped profoundly by my 8-year-old daughter one day at breakfast when my ex-husband was abusing me verbally over the table. And she looked up at me, put her hands on her hips, turned her face up to me and said, "Why do you let him treat you like that?" Whoa. She put a bomb under me. I went to the first 3 self-assertion courses. I still could barely open my mouth and squeak. And by the time I'd done my 5th self-assertion course, I could start sharing something. And so I learnt to set boundaries. And coming from a violent family, there are no boundaries, so we never learnt boundaries. So this was new at the age of 40. And so that was another whole birthing, similar to the first one, but when I was 40, into the world, and to become a proficient, assertive woman making her way in the world. And it was touch and go, and I organized mentally my suicide 3 times, but always somebody came, and it was impossible. And so I got I got it that I'm not meant to take that route. And so I simply, step by step by step by step, each step that came, my vision was to be a good role model for my 2 daughters. So how would I be a good role model in this situation for them? So that was my constant question to myself, and imagining them watching me. And sometimes they were, other times they weren't. And this is how I learned to be an assertive, effective, proficient, well, I'm not sure if I'm still well adjusted or ever got there, but anyhow, to the best of my ability. And so that my quest was, even though we lived on $70 a month initially, because nobody wanted a woman with 2 children who was separated. It was an absolute no-no in the 70s. They didn't want to touch us. And so learning to create a good quality of life for them. And I did, and we ended up in a beautiful home with a swimming pool and a spa pool, and my daughter had a horse, and I gave them a beautiful life as a solo single mother. It was in the 80s by then. And so they have a really, really good role model, and they've lived that role model. They left New Zealand the moment they finished their degrees, got on the plane, and nothing stopped them. Arrived in San Francisco, told you'll never get a job here or a place to stay. There are places full of homeless and unemployed, and that was not in my daughter's reality. And so within 2 weeks, she had 3 jobs and the place close by to live with lovely people. Both of them did that. And so they repeated what I did, step by step by step, create what you want. And I love my youngest, who started with taking a taxi round to the best areas in wherever city she was. Just the taxi driver, take me to the nicest areas. Then she'd get out and have a walk around. Then she'd go in, and when she got 2 or 3 jobs, she would start looking for accommodation in the area. And this is what they did all their lives. And so I take great joy that from my abysmal start as a really high quality doormat, I was a really good role model. And they are now for their children, and their children are the same go-getters. And so it's beautiful. And so I'm very grateful for whoever put an obstacle in my way that I overcome and became more and became a better role model. And it's never ending. And I certainly haven't stopped. And I'm 80, but I'm just starting a new book.
I don't think the viewers can see, but I'm dancing on the other side. You go.
And I love that we're doing this now, because I'm really looking forward to leaving my 7s, 71, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And I'm about to enter into my infinity 8 energy of joyous co-creation with spirit. And I've become who I need to be to do that. Now, it's taken me all this time, but better late than never. And so I can't wait to be 80.
So your daughters, both of them, had a great role model by your
Yes,
time.
they did. And thanks to my ex-husband. So,
Back to
yes, well, he was the teacher.
Isn't that fascinating to think that sometimes as a human we believe that a teacher has to be a role model, but the bound teachings can be learned through suffering and pain and trauma as well. And really start to see that when you speak about it.
Mm.
It's really, really fascinating.
And I chose that in this lifetime because I knew and I know this is my last manifestation on the planet. I came at the first time as a Pleiadian, and in the cave drawings and through every civilization since then. And this is my completion of that contract, because this is the time where the phoenix arises and we move towards the joyous co-creation of the new earth. And that when I leave, well, who knows when that will be, it will be because I've finished my role in that and spiritual purpose in that, and I'm not needed here anymore. And so who knows what next, but anyhow.
It's fascinating that you brought the phoenix in.
Yes.
Is that the times we're in? And if so, can you speak to that a little more?
Absolutely. And so the phoenix has arisen on the planet. We have birthed the new earth. And so all this energy where it felt like we were going to explode and everything else was going to explode as well. And it did come to an explosion just within this last week. There was this enormous contraction, and I felt like I was burst through the birth canal. And it was a most uncomfortable ride. And since then, everything is coming to me with ease and grace and the highest help. For example, you doing this now in this timing of new beginnings of the new earth. And so we are in the process of creating the new templates for the new earth with every thought, every word, every action that we take consciously. And when we are not conscious, we are adding more energy to the old and maintaining that and bringing it into our present time zone. And so whenever I notice that, cancel, cancel, clear, clear, I choose when I put out with twice the passion what I choose.
So some practices that you teach at your wisdom school, the online course that you're giving in May.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what the trainings are all for. It's around staying grounded, present, conscious in every moment, no matter what chaos is occurring, so that we can choose consciously in a way that creates the new template, because that's what's missing at the moment, is we've got all the old in abundance, but we're creating new templates, new thought forms, new emotional patterns, behaviors. And that is hard work because it means staying really conscious in every moment, no matter what is happening around us. And the tools that I share in the trainings is around centering, grounding, choosing, calling in the spiritual troops that are co-creating with us and putting out with maximum power and creating a tribe of highly trained. And I'm told by Commander Ashtar that the groups that I've trained in the last year training and since are the highest trained on the planet, who work with one heart, one mind, as one, which is the most potent way to create new templates and to dissolve the old. And because we are high beings who, as I sit here, the roots beneath my feet go into the heart of Mother Gaia, and my highest self is sitting with my soul groups in the central sun, with the Elohim in the pure light of source or heaven. And so as I'm sitting here speaking to you, I'm also up there. Sorry, there's no up. There's just frequencies. And so I'm in those frequencies, and zillions of us are showering down through me, through this sharing, to reach the hearts of each one who watches. And they come to support each one and who watches in manifesting it and being part of the new template being created for the new earth, of the new thought forms, emotional patterns, behavior patterns, the new consciousness. That's the challenging part. And so when there is a tribe of us doing it with all our soul groups, which come into zillions of beings, all pouring down simultaneously through our vehicles, which grounded and earthed instantly in the heart of Mother Gaia, so that it becomes instant alchemy like that. It doesn't have to go into the etheric and wait there and come dribbling down, because we are rooted in our physical vehicles in the earth. It's instant manifestation, instant alchemy. Whereas the masters can't do that. They can bring it down into the etheric, and then it has to dribble down. So they find and frequently say to me that each one of us that has reached this level of evolution of being aware that, yes, I'm in the central sun, and yes, I'm sitting in this chair, and yes, my roots are going down into the heart of Mother Gaia, that with this bridge, we become infinite. And so each one of us that achieves that, which is what the training is all about, is alchemy. It's gold. It's the most priceless gift to spirit and the divine plan.
How would you describe love?
Love.
Yeah, well, how would love fit in there? It's just a word, but it's so much more.
Well, it's the petrol, it's the oomph.
Okay.
It's the inspiration, it's the passion, it's the joy. And it's the wind beneath our wings. And without that, I might as well stay in bed asleep, because I can't create anything without love. It's love which takes me into the higher frequency, and joy is even a higher frequency than love. So to come from a place of joy, which is the vibration of the new earth, instantly I'm here and I'm there simultaneously, because there's no space or time. And it's love and joy that takes us, that takes me. And if I don't have those, stay in bed and have a good sleep. And then get centered in love and joy again tomorrow.
How do we cultivate more joy and love? How is that possible for us in these times that might still feel a bit dense at times, or uncertain, especially now we're creating new templates,
Yes.
co-creating the new templates.
Yes. We hope he told us some time back now, it is time to not swim alone. It is time to find like-minded, like-hearted people and create together. That's the time we're in. So the way to maintain love and joy is simply being around you. And so it's being with like mind, like heart. And I was told really strongly, because I spent 50, maybe 60 years of my life helping people to come through and through teachings. And I founded the Academy of Shamanic Studies for 33 years and taught around the world. And then I was told to dissolve the academy. I was not to engage in the world of form anymore. I was to revert to my essence, which is I am Elisabeth. I am Spider Woman. I am a weaver of the web of oneness. And so I've gathered others to come weave with me. And because they're like heart and like mind, it's just joyous to be in their presence. And it's so full of love. I mean, I just meet you again and my heart bursts with joy. And so it's just being with like mind, like heart. And I was told it was time to let go. It was no longer time to keep trying to bring people up with me and through with me. That time period and chance is done. It is now time to gather like mind, like heart people and move forward, because only in that way can we create potent templates for the new earth, which is the main job now. And so we can't do it dragging unwilling people, unready people, which I spent 40 years at least doing, and it was giving them the opportunity. And so
To hear you say it's important to be coming from your center being essence.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
no more time to do the things you described for the last 40 years, bringing people along, getting them. So it's more like a big shift come from this other place.
Yes, that opportunity is now closed.
Mm.
And now the current time is like mind, like heart, beings of light coming together to co-create potent templates of the new earth and come together on that highest levels that I spoke of, from the central sun down into the heart of Mother Gaia, clearing through our galactic lifetimes, through our terrestrial lifetimes, all those, right through all the layers of time, which is illusion anyhow.
How do you recognize that you're part of a tribe like that? What is it that is like a sign for other people to look out for?
Well, it's when you meet somebody and you feel joyous and loving and you just talk, 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 and you don't want to say goodbye, you know you're with somebody who's of like heart and mind. Whereas when it's somebody who is not like, it's hard work. As soon as it becomes hard work, you know, okay, that's the 3D way, no more, and just don't engage. Now, that sounds cruel, but I know in the big picture, unless I'm dancing with like mind, like heart, joyfully, lovingly, I'm not making a difference. I'm not doing what I came to do, which is to co-create the new earth and establish it really strongly with strong, clear templates. And so it's to let go of saving people, and also around the planet, I was told I was not to spend any energy around engaging with the terrible news that hits us everywhere all the time at the moment. It's around seeing the hawk eye view that it is simply the old three-dimensional corrupt systems dissolving in order for the new fifth and seventh dimension and beyond, manifesting into strong, clear templates and form, co-creating the new earth in that way. And so if I engage in any way with what is dissolving, I'm just giving that more energy. I'm bringing that into my present timeline instead of soaring. And it's in soaring with like mind, like heart, that we create absolute alchemy, magic, power, and it becomes instant alchemy into the heart of Mother Gaia and throughout.
That sounds like where energy goes, or where attention goes, energy flows. So, and is that part of being or having discernment in your life? a spiritual discernment and knowing what this is something that will add, and this is something, I call it life-giving and life-taking energy.
Yes.
And having a discernment to distinguish what is life-giving and what is life-giving for the highest good of all.
Yes.
And in your teachings and in your last almost 80 years, how is that manifesting itself in your life?
Well, it's actually really simple. It's staying conscious and noticing anything that doesn't make me feel good is part of the old three-dimensional, whether it's a person or a place or a construct, whatever it is. And I've left that behind, and I absolutely don't want to bring it back into the present through my attention, because that's what I can do. I can bring that back into my present and then have to dissolve it and purify again. Oh, man, enough already. Done that for long enough. And anything that raises my vibration, makes me feel good, like just seeing your face. I just burst into joy and a big smile, and my heart is opened, and I know immediately, like mind, like heart, we're soaring and we're radiating out this glorious energy to bless all life. So it doesn't stop there. Goes out endlessly, just like air goes out endlessly. You know, that bit's not my air and that bit's not your air. It's all air everywhere.
Sometimes we in the water.
Well, I choose not to think of it like that. It's such a pretty colour and it matches my clothes. And my beloved Rose Perry likes it.
Oh, that leaves me almost speechless. I don't know what questions to ask. So maybe what arises from this joy and this love, so this almost sacred silence that we're both really good at co-creating when we're together. What is it that you want to share as one of your most important sharings as Elisabeth Essence here now? What is it that you want to offer to everyone who's listening?
Learn the tools to center and ground within your own essence. And different spiritual traditions have different ways. And the trainings that I offer do that abundantly and very potently, but there are many ways. Because when you stay centered and grounded, that means that you're in your essence. And when I'm in my essence, that means my divine is in full marriage and alignment with my human physical beingness and radiating and co-creating through it. And that's what we came to be and do in this lifetime. Because in this lifetime, in this new earth, it was not around transcending our bodies like it has been throughout most of our lifetimes on the earth from its birthing. This time, far greater challenge. It's to arise and ascend within this physical, mental, emotional vehicle, spiritual, etheric. And that is a far greater challenge and complex process, because it means identifying unlike, allowing it and encouraging it to arise, welcoming it home with love and acceptance, and then choosing what I want to replace that wounded self with, who I choose to be and become. And so it's a very long, slow process initially. And all I can say is as the decades go by, it gets fast. So there's definitely hope. And now I'm very fast at identifying what's coming up and loving it, because what is actually happening is it's that cellular memory of that experience, whether it be in this or umpteen lifetimes ago, that I'm still carrying. Well, glory, hallelujah, that it's come up, because it's come up to go home to the light. And the fastest way to go home to the light is loving and accepting it and embracing it in my heart and transmuting it in the central sun in my heart. And oof, it becomes Christed light. And so I don't have to carry that into the next lifetime or for the next 5 minutes. So it's glory, glory, hallelujah, even though it can be difficult in the moment, especially if they come up like a torrent. As one cellular memory releases the next and the next and the next and the next layer, that, that can be very wearing down. However, if we manage to stay center and know that the big picture is that's only returning into the light, and glory, hallelujah, it's left those cells. I don't have to carry that density. Now that can instantly become filled with light. And so I become ever lighter and more joyous and more loving. I mean, it's really glorious.
Is that a process you can do by yourself? Or would it benefit also of being witnessed by your peers or others who are close by? And what would be the difference in that process? If there was a difference.
It began with my learning to do it in a circle where facilitators did it in their own unique way. So that's how I learned. But now I find it much easier to do it on my own because it's so fast. It's so fast. I just say, "Ooh, thank you for showing yourself. Welcome home." Because I know that density I was carrying, and when I carry density, unfinished business, I magnetize that vibration to release that. So if it happens spontaneously, well, glory, glory, hallelujah. How easy is that? And I find it's easier to do it on my own now because it's so fast. And somebody that I'm doing it with might hold on to it much longer. And I've been there, done that, and it's gone. And they're still holding on to it. And so
can our bodies, therefore, as a vessel, almost be present to help others remember what it means to go through that process as a transmission?
Well, you can be a great blessing by saying something like, "Isn't that wonderful? Who knows how long you've been carrying that and where? And isn't it wonderful that's coming up now? It just wants to go back to the light. No processing required. Just say, welcome, much love, beloved, and let it become light that you are." Because in the third dimension, back, how long ago? Not that long ago. 5 years, 10 years? Not long. Processing was the way through because we were of a low vibration. The earth was of a low third dimensional vibration. Therefore, everything was struggle. And so processing was the major way for most people through that. And now that we're in the fifth and far beyond, many of us, that's not helpful. All you're doing is bringing it forward into the present timeline and wallowing in it and making it part of the present, where all it wants to do is go home. Go home to the light. And that happens like that when you allow it and just welcome, beloved, welcome.
Well, thank you, Elisabeth, for sharing your great, great wisdom in almost 80 years of living this life as Elisabeth Essence. I wonder, is there anything else you would like to share with us here, or the people who are watching, viewing?
Yes. In the last week or two in particular, there has been tumultuous chaos around the planet, within people, within families, within relationships. And it's simply the third dimensional unfinished business coming up, wanting to return to the light. So it's wherever it's held within our beings as unfinished business, and in countries and families and so on. All that we need to do is love it, welcome it, because in that way it becomes instant alchemy and returns to the light. And in the process of coming up for us to squirm very uncomfortably in, we are having the opportunity to transform those physical, mental, and emotional habits and patterns and thought forms to become the new template. So that's what it's about. It's like this massive boil that's arising within each of us and our families and our relationships, our nations, and humanity, and then it goes boom. And it's just recently, in the last few days, it has popped. There's been this boom, and now the new is able to come in. And the new is flooding into me. All this help, a website that I haven't had for 20 years is offered to come in. People are offering their time and wanting to assist around creating with me, because this is the right timing. That oil has burst. It is returning to the light. And so now we can start creating anew in the light that takes its place. And so no matter how horrific this time looks, just know, like Shakespeare knew, that's all illusion. That's all the old drama having its final performance. And now every thought, every word, every action is creating the new Earth template. And we're going home. Here. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. sacred, sacred sister. It's been a joy to dance in co-creation with you.
I'm going.
Thank you. And great blessings, and all the great beings who are here with us. I ask you to take, be the wind beneath the wings of each one who listens. And if it be in harmony with their free will and divine will, be the wind beneath their wings to move forward with ease, grace, and flow, and co-create as they came to co-create the new earth with gentleness, ease, and grace in the way of the Great Mother. Thank you, thank you, thank you.